Hello, everyone. I am delighted to be with you today. I'd like you to take a moment to contemplate the incredible marvel that is the wonder of your brain. Your brain is your essence, generating your every thought, emotion, action, and dream. It interprets your sensations, controls your movements, and is the source of your creativity and your individual personality. It is the repository of your life's memories, experiences, and knowledge. It is your most precious gift, and it's what makes you, you. My goal this afternoon is to inspire you to care for and empower your brain. So let's get started. The key to empowering your brain lies in the miracle of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's remarkable ability to redesign itself and create new synapses and new brain cells throughout your life. Your brain is incredibly dynamic. Like a work of art in progress, it is continuously evolving. Every experience you have changes your brain. In fact, even as you engage in this webinar today, your brain is actively forming new connections. The brain you sign off with at the end of this presentation will be physically different from when you first tuned into this webinar. How amazing is that? That is the miracle of neuroplasticity. To optimally manifest this miracle, it's important to nurture your brain. In the same way that plants flourish when carefully tended to, the same is true for your brain. The way you care for your brain and the lifestyle choices you make every day matter. And it's important to know that your genes do not necessarily determine your destiny. As an example, a number of years ago, I cared for identical twin sisters. One had advanced Alzheimer's, and the other sister was as sharp as a tack. Since we know that identical twins have identical genes, how come Alzheimer's developed in one and not the other? The answer is epigenetics, an exciting new field of scientific study that demonstrates how our lifestyle choices and environment alter gene expression. Although the sisters had identical genes, the individual expression of their genes had been molded by the different lifestyle choices they made over the years. In other words, our health is not set in stone by our genes. Studies show that we have much more control over our health destiny than we previously realized. For those of you who, like me, have had a family member with Alzheimer's, my mother had Alzheimer's, I hope you find comfort and reassurance in this knowledge. If you are noticing changes in your memory, which many women do experience in midlife, please don't ignore it. Share your concerns with your care provider and get checked out. Many of my patients worry that they're developing dementia and are afraid to see a doctor, when in fact, there are many reversible causes of memory problems, including hormonal changes, poor sleep, stress, vitamin deficiencies, thyroid conditions, depression, anxiety, medication side effects, just to name a few. It's always best to see someone, share your concerns, and get the proper evaluation and treatment. And finally, be proactive. On the Massachusetts General Hospital McCants Center for Brain Health website, we offer a questionnaire called the Brain Care Score that I encourage you to download. The hyperlink is available on the last slide of this presentation. Filling this out will give you an overview of the many factors that influence your brain health. You'll understand how well you are currently caring for your brain and identify areas you may need to focus on. The Brain Care Score can be an effective tool in your arsenal to maximize your brain health. Here are some specific strategies to enable you to empower your brain to better health. The first strategy is to indulge in the new. Isn't this a fun slide? Open yourself up to new experiences and new learning. Doing this triggers neuroplasticity in the learning and memory centers of the brain and keeps you mentally agile. Here are some suggestions to indulge in the new. First of all, embrace mental challenges, both at work and in your leisure time. Step out of your comfort zone. Secondly, use your memory. We've become so dependent on our electronics that we've literally forgotten how to memorize things. Memory is like any other skill. The more you use it, the better you will get at it. Challenge yourself by memorizing phone numbers, directions, or grocery lists. Third, learn new skills, including games, hobbies, and sports. Make it fun. Lastly, use every opportunity to seek daily enrichment. Read an article, watch a TED Talk, or attend a lecture on a topic that you don't know much about. There are countless ways to expand your intellectual horizons. Move throughout your day. Moving your body is simply one of the very best things you can do for your brain. When your heart beats faster and you feel that flush in your face from increased blood flow, the very same thing is happening in your brain. This increased blood flow causes a cascade of wonderful changes in your brain, including the release of numerous growth hormones such as BDNF, which one of my colleagues refers to as miracle growth for the brain. And that's exactly what it does. Physical activity has been shown to fortify synaptic connections, enhance neuroplasticity, and measurably increase brain volume. Here are some suggestions to weave more exercise into your day. Turn on some music when cooking and dance in your kitchen. Stroll around while taking a phone call, or meet up with a friend for a walk. Avoid prolonged sitting. Studies show that with prolonged sitting, your cortisol and blood sugar levels rise, which promotes unhealthy inflammation in your body and your brain. By simply getting up for a few minutes and moving, you can bring those levels back down. Prior to reading this research, I used to sit at my computer for hours on end. I now have a timer on my desk, which I set for 25 minutes, to remind me to take a break and move around. Next, make it fun, make it social. You're more likely to stick with it, and spending time with others boosts the brain benefits. Finally, discover the joy of movement. Has there ever been a time you've enjoyed moving your body? Maybe it was playing pickleball or going for a walk with a loved one or dancing at a friend's wedding. Whatever it is, try to get more of that into your life. Putting one foot in front of the other is nothing short of a miracle. Celebrate your body's ability to move in whatever capacity you can. Nourish your neurons with the MIND diet. The MIND diet is an acronym for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. It's a combination of the Mediterranean diet, which is celebrated for its health benefits, and the DASH diet, which is designed to reduce blood pressure. It is considered the best diet for brain health. It's chock full of the proper nutrients to build a better brain and keeps your heart and arteries healthy too. Studies show this diet slows cognitive decline and when followed rigorously can reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease by 53%. The dietary guidelines can be divided into daily recommendations as follows: 3 or more servings of whole grains, 1 or more servings of non-leafy vegetables, and olive oil is recommended as the main cooking oil. Weekly recommendations include 6 or more servings of green leafy vegetables, 5 or more servings of nuts, 4 or more servings of beans, 2 or more of berries, 2 or more servings of poultry, and 1 or more servings of fish. The Mind Diet also recommends limiting sodium to 1,500 milligrams per day and avoiding the following unhealthy foods, which include red meats, fried and fast foods, cheese, butter, and margarine, sweets, and pastries. You can find more details on this diet online by Googling the Mind Diet, and I invite you to do that. Next is mind your body. To maintain a healthy brain, it's important to optimize your general health. See your doctor regularly, be proactive, and stay on top of any potential medical conditions. Pay special attention to vascular risk factors, including blood pressure, glucose, cholesterol, and body mass index. Avoid smoking. Maintaining a healthy heart and proper blood flow to the brain is crucial not only for preventing strokes, but also for averting cognitive decline. Prevent head injuries by wearing seatbelts, using helmets, and the proper safety gear when engaging in sports. Avoid falls. If you are afraid of falling or feel unsteady, let your doctor know. Be aware of psychoactive medications and substances that can alter alertness, perception, cognition, and mood. This includes both prescription and over-the-counter sleep aids. It's important to know that if you are prescribed any of these medications, do not stop them abruptly. Instead, discuss it with your doctor. Let's talk about cannabis or marijuana. Medical marijuana is generally considered safe and effective for certain conditions. However, concerns arise with recreational use. Like everything in life, moderation is important. Regarding alcohol, less or actually none is now considered best. I am so sorry to bear this unfortunate news. In the past, it was believed that certain types of alcohol, especially red wine, was part of a brain-healthy diet. However, our understanding has evolved. Prior research suggesting benefits from alcohol consumption were flawed by a crucial factor. Alcohol is a luxury item. Those who can afford alcohol tend to have better access to health care and are more likely to follow a brain-healthy lifestyle. I'd like to finish up with one of the strategies I often use. Make over your mind. This photo was taken during one of my sunrise meditations, which is my favorite time to make over my mind. A number of years ago, my son became a Peace Corps volunteer in Liberia. As you can imagine, there were endless opportunities for a mother to worry, whether triggered by a news event, a friend's remark, or my own ruminations. I would find myself caught up in a worry loop. As a neurologist, I realized that dwelling on worrisome thoughts was inadvertently increasing my anxiety and etching those stressful thoughts more deeply into my brain. It was the perfect time to make over my mind. This is because thoughts have a physical presence in the brain. When you think a specific thought, a defined circuit of neurons is activated. The more frequently you think that specific thought, the more ingrained it becomes. It's like a footpath. The more traffic it bears, the more well-defined it is. Once it gains prominence, you will more likely gravitate to that thought pathway in the future. Over time, this is how mental habits are formed, both good and bad. The miracle of the brain is that you can choose to think differently. By consciously replacing a worrisome thought with a positive thought, that positive thought pathway will be reinforced. With repetition, it will flourish, while worrisome thoughts will fade from disuse. In this way, you can literally redesign the infrastructure of your brain. The reason this technique works is because your mind can only hold one thought at a time. Go ahead and try to think of 2 thoughts at once. No matter how hard you try, it's impossible, right? This is because the mind works sequentially. By forcing yourself to think a positive thought, it is impossible to simultaneously be thinking a negative thought. In other words, you have the incredible power to physically rewire your brain. An easy way to force yourself to think a positive thought is by reciting a positive affirmation. This became an invaluable tool for me when my son served in the Peace Corps. Every time a worrisome thought crossed my mind, I began silently reciting, "May you be safe. May you find joy. May you grow from this experience." It was transformative. When I was consumed by a worrisome thought, I felt helpless, anxious, and tense. In contrast, sending love and warm wishes to my son by repeating this positive affirmation filled me with love and serenity. The key to mastering this technique is repetition. Like any other skill, practice makes perfect. Trust me, my son's 4 years in Liberia gave me endless practice. It's amazing to me how reciting this affirmation became a mental habit, an automatic reply to a stressful thought. With time, whenever a worrisome thought about my son crossed my mind, I'd reflexively start reciting my mantra. May you be safe. May you find joy. May you grow from this experience. Since then, I've added many additional affirmations to my personal repertoire. It is fascinating to contemplate how this technique has beautifully rewired my brain. And the best part is they can be mentally recited anytime, any place, and under any circumstance. Now I invite you to design your own personal affirmations. Consider the negative thought pathways that you activate most often. Decide upon alternative positive thoughts that are calming and uplifting. It could be a single word, a short phrase, or blessing. After this presentation, take a moment to write down a few of your affirmations. Resolve to repeat your personalized affirmations whenever you find yourself thinking a negative thought. In time, you will become more efficient at detecting negative thoughts, and effortlessly, your positive affirmations will come to mind. In the process, you will cultivate a beautiful new mental landscape. Once established, they are yours forever, 24/7. And just think, they are never more than one thought away. It's been a pleasure to visit with you today. I hope what you've learned has been beneficial. I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me through my website at www.mariepasinski.com or on LinkedIn at Marie Pasinski, MD. For additional information on brain health, you may find Beautiful Brain, Beautiful You or Chicken Soup for the Soul, Boost Your Brain Power helpful. At the bottom of this slide, you will find the link to the Brain Care Score. And now I look forward to your questions.